Hey everyone, welcome back to all our YouTube viewers and our audio listeners on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're tuning in from. Good to have you here. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome aboard. You're listening to episode 2 of AMA Affiliate Marketing Answered, the show where we bring on one expert to answer your questions, specific, sometimes too oddly specific questions without the BS. And for today's guest, I was actually very tempted to rename the episode to AMA Andrea Moise Answers. That was my big brain and moment today. And yeah, that's exactly who we've got today. Andrea, she's the founder of Hype Maven. She's worked with brands across every category you can think of, and she's worked on thousands and thousands of influencer and affiliate programs. And by the way, if you're not following her on LinkedIn, I'm gonna ask you to stop the episode right now and just pause it. Go to LinkedIn, follow her, or like just to check out the link from our description. And I promise you, you will not regret it. You'll have a lot of fun. She has some of the best takes, by the way. I love reading all her content. So yeah, go give her a follow right now. Yeah, Andrea, so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me and for the amazing introduction. Need
Thank
to
you so
double
much.
check that my LinkedIn is gonna hold up to that.
I think so. I think it will. And a quick like rundown before we dive in, just like how the show works. We collect questions from our audience ahead of time, and we work through as many as possible in the time that we've got. So, and today we've got a very interesting long list of questions. But before we get to the audience questions, I want to start with something that is a little different. Andrea, I think my first question is, what is your hot take about affiliate marketing? What is it that every brand is getting wrong out there, or just like something that nobody's talking about? Give us the tea, give us the goss.
I think, well, I have a lot of hot takes. I'm sorry, this is we have an additional guest.
Yeah, this is great. That is Andrea's cat to everyone who's listening to us. Yeah.
He's just gonna hang out here. Otherwise, we're gonna have drama. Um, but I think my one of the I have a lot of hot takes in general, and I'm very open about it. But I think one of the hot takes with affiliate is just that a lot of brands are trying to jump on affiliate, thinking that it's this kind of like zero budget strategy. It's like fast, easy. It's like a quick way to revenue. We're gonna just create like this community of people that are gonna sell our product for us, and it's gonna go great. And they kind of like it's kind of like the same as gifting was a few years ago, where a lot of brands were like, gifting, yeah, we just send product and we get content in return. That's great, that's amazing. And I think what happens is that a lot of people tend to look at the top case studies, the people that go on podcasts and like share stuff on LinkedIn, and they talk about like the outcome, but they don't take into consideration that that outcome was like 2-3 years in the building. It involved like agencies on rotation. It involved a massive team, and it involved someone who actually knows what they're doing internally, or like a lot of space to get a lot of things wrong, which well, from what I've seen, a lot of brands, it's mainly startups or like really hungry brands that are okay with, but not all brands give like that space for mistakes and for um doing that. So yeah, affiliate is definitely not for everyone, and I think a lot of brands are starting to kind of understand from what I'm seeing from the brands that are coming on to me. I'm starting to kind of educate them, and they're starting to understand that, oh, actually this might not be the best fit for us, or this might not work as we imagined, because what they imagine is that they see these like super professional influencers and they think we're just going to go and offer them a commission and they're going to accept to work with us, and that's couldn't be further from the truth of how it actually
Yeah.
works.
Actually, that sets the context for this entire conversation really well, because we have a lot of very specific questions about, okay, is this the right fit for us? How do we go about it? How do we know if it's working? So I'm gonna like the way we have divided these questions, we've clubbed them under certain themes. And I think the first one to begin with is actually this, finding the right kind of affiliate partner. So, is there a way that in your experience that you found that, okay, these are the checks or these are the filters I need to put these creators through to know that, okay, this kind of an affiliate partner would work best for this sort of brand category. So how do you spot affiliates who you think are going to, I mean, there are no like guarantees that it would work best, but like there are certain checks that you can have to make sure that ROI is positive. So are there any best ways to spot affiliates that are going to work well for your brand?
Yeah, there's a like a baseline of criteria that stays. It's kind of like fundamental for affiliate that kind of stays the same across like all categories, and then there's another baseline, like another tier of criteria is based on the goal that you have for the program, because affiliate programs, just like influencer programs, can have different goals. So not everybody, for example, they a lot of people, a lot of brands come and say we want sales, awareness, brand building, community building, all of it, and you cannot have all of it with just like one aspect, what just like one affiliate program. You will have one main goal, and then you will have maybe like two secondary ones, but one is always going to be more important and one is going to be like more like against. So if your point, if your main goal is to drive revenue and that's what you want, you're going to accept that, content distribution and like content quality and like all of that is going to come secondary. And your main goal is to recruit people that have like a high commercial power and high commercial knowledge so that they can move your product. And this is where a lot of a big point of friction comes with a lot of brands, because they're like, we want sales, but we don't want people who are non-aesthetic. And I'm like, great, then we're going to switch to people who are honest aesthetic, and then you put budget. We switch the strategy to like getting content for ads in exchange, and then we can also have an affiliate layer on that. But you can't have like you can't have all the aesthetic people joining into your affiliate program, because those are the people that everybody wants. So you're gonna have to compromise on that. So I would say if you want revenue, the baseline criteria is posting frequency, people who are really good in front of the camera, people who have found like a content format. You can have a lot of content formats. It's not just video content that works. It's usually video content that features a person that they talk in, because that's how they're going to build trust. Usually affiliate profiles don't necessarily build trust within a specific audience, but they're really, really good at catering content to be sent to a specific audience. And this is why you will see like there are like big accounts that have do Amazon finds, and they don't necessarily send all that content to the same audience over and over again, because that would be like very they would burn that audience out. But what they are really, really good at is like creating the hooks and the interest and presenting the product in such a way that it gets sent to that exact audience that it needs to see that product, and that's how they make sales. So the commercial intent, some people will say that, we look at who uses like MailChimp automations and link automations, like comment that there's like a specific, if you look at captions, so for example, if you take like 100 posts from affiliate profiles, you will start to kind of see the patterns in their captions. There are like commercial intent words that they use in their bios, in their captions, in their highlights. So shopping deals, daily outfits, daily finds, that kind of thing. Depending on your niche, you will be able to like identify them very, very fast. These are kind of like the general affiliates that are more wide appeal. So if you're like an apparel brand, a beauty brand, a household brand, any kind of like these brands, you will be able to find affiliates in these categories. If you're like a niche brand, if you do like fishing lines or I don't know, like parts, and you want to find affiliates, then the base criteria of like posting frequency, topical relevance, being on camera, growth in time, that kind of thing, still remains, but the criteria that you lay on top of that is going to be completely different. And also the offer that you cater to, that you craft to like reach out to those people, is also going to be different. And you will have to be okay with the fact that your affiliate program is going to be significantly smaller. So you have to be realistic in the kind of like term in the kind of like goals that you set. So you're not going to have like 4,000 people in your program to sell lawns. Maybe you will, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, if it's like a specific
Yeah.
aspect of the lawnmowers, you'll probably not be able to recruit hundreds of people a month. You'll probably be in, I would assume, the male niche, which is significantly smaller than the other niches. And you would be, like guys who are interested in like tools and all this like hardware. And you will also be targeting a male audience. So yeah,
Yeah.
these are the kind of things that I would look at. when finding affiliates.
Yeah, yeah, super helpful. I think it also depends on the kind of email that you're writing to them. How are you inviting them? So selection is one. Then what like tone that you use for the outreach, or what like, as you said, offer or incentive that you're giving to them. All of these um, eventually lead to the success of your affiliate program. And just on this same lines, onboarding is a very important, like, how are you onboarding your affiliate, and you have to set them up for success. So the second question that we had was around this, that we got a lot of brands telling us that half of the people that they're onboarding, disappear after one post, or they never post at all. So is how do they go about thinking what is going wrong here? Is it something that you can catch during the onboarding session, or is there like a normal drop off rate they should expect, or like benchmarks that they can put their program against? Any thought on the onboarding funnel of affiliates?
Yeah. So, like everything in influencer marketing, or at least everything I preach, the problem never starts in the current stage. The problem is always rooted in the previous one. So, usually, what I find is that when people onboard a lot of people and then they see a huge drop off, is sometimes brands, what they do is they try to game the opt-in by making it like really wide appeal by sending product to everyone. And you shouldn't do that. I know that there's like internal pressure on teams to like reach, onboard like 200 people a month into the program. But if you onboard 200 people a month and only 5, 10 posts, you have wasted product time, and you were better off onboarding 50, out of which 20 posted. Completely different ratio and completely different results. So it's all in the vetting, and it's all in like how we frame. There is definitely like two ways to approach it. You can cold outreach and propose the affiliate right off the bat and say, we have this program, it's great. That usually works if you have like a social proof aspect to it and you have like the numbers that will be really, really enticing. For example, for some brands that we work with, even though they're like not super known brand, they have a lot of customers. So we are able to go and say we have like millions of customers in the US. The return rate on of this brand is like 50%. So 50% of the people that try this product, they come back and they buy more. And that for an affiliate is like, wow, okay. You have like a joining bonus in the first like couple of weeks in the program, right? You have like sometimes we switch, but instead of giving a percentage, we give like a flat fee per sale, which is really, really easy to understand
Yeah.
for affiliates. Instead of like saying, "Oh, I'm going to give you 5% of whatever you drive, I'm going to give you $10 no matter what. I'm going to give you $10 per sale. If you make 5 sales, you get $50." And that is kind of like the most efficient. If you're acquisition driven, it doesn't look good in like ROI sense, that maybe because a lot of brands are going to fight back on that. Well, actually, but if they drive like a $30 sale, am I supposed to like give them $10? Yes, because you're acquiring that customer. That's how you should think about it. It's not about like, I want to milk that customer in the first phase of their acquisition as far as, but no, you need to think about affiliate is very, very tied to LTV, even more than like other influencer programs like traditional influencer, because the timeline that it takes and the kind of like way we build affiliate programs is very, very similar to like other long-term process. Like it's very similar to SEO. It's very similar to any kind of like long-term initiative of like building a community that you can think of. So that's where the problem lies. It's like it lies in first in the vetting, like not choosing because a lot of times when you do, for example, the first approach, like I said, it's like going on with the program, but it entails that you have a really strong offer and you know how to craft a strong offer. The other way is going with gifting and letting creators self-select and just get a bunch of people, see who accepts, and then see who posts unprompted about the product. But that also has like its own kind of pros and cons, because you will still not be able to skip the vetting step. This is what a lot of brands want to skip. They don't want to do the vetting. They don't want to like qualify people before. They want to just blast emails to everyone and send the product to everyone and expect results. And it's just not, it doesn't work that way. And if you do that, what you are going to get if you do not know how to craft the communication, and if you do not know how to choose the people and how to hint at what you actually want and what your goal is. What you're going to get is you're going to get maybe, if you're lucky, 30% posting rate, which I know some people still consider very, very good. But if you're sending out 200 products, 300 products, I would expect at least 50, 60. I think that would be like a good rate. Um, And then what you're going to get is you're going to get a bunch of stories. You're going to get a bunch of low lift content. And out of that, a very small amount of people is actually going to self-select by creating like videos. And they're not going to create dedicated videos. Very few of them are going to create dedicated videos for your brand. You're probably going to get integrated in like some organic carousel and date and life, la 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 la. That is also very, very good content. And that is, I would say, one of the most important ones to have, because that is the most organic way you can appear in
Yeah.
content. But brands don't want that because they want to control how they appear. They want, I cannot use that content because I don't like the way it looks. It's a carousel. It's like featured with other brands. It's a blah, 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 blah. So there are like different aspects that you need to consider with that. With the onboarding, I would say you need to have a very distinct path of how you can tell the affiliate to reach their goal. The first goal that the affiliates need to reach, and a lot of brands get this wrong, is not sales. Sales are not going to happen unless I've seen 3, 4 posts or up to like 7 posts for the first sale to happen. It depends on the product price point. It depends on the category. It depends on like your sales cycle. It depends on how known your brand is. If your brand is very known, a lot of people love to look at brands like Comfrt. Comfrt is a very widely known brand. Like they're sitting on millions and millions of content units. Their affiliate is not the same as yours. You cannot take them as a benchmark if you are a brand that nobody's heard of, because their sale is a lot easier just based on the fact that they have a really, really known brand, or like Poppi, or like all these
Yeah.
like cool brands that people are talking about. If you're, I don't know, grandma's herbal soda and you want to build an affiliate, you have to understand that the sale is going to be a little bit more difficult in the beginning. So what we do is we incentivize people to post, because a lot of the affiliates, they don't know where to get started. That's one of the main issues. How do I get started? What do I post about? What do I say? And I've heard a lot of brands and a lot of internal teams saying, well, we need to get better creators. We need to, because if they don't know, they're not good creators. Great, Stacy. Grab this bottle of soda and create affiliate content for me right now. Go on your Instagram and create affiliate content. If you think it's easy, go ahead. And 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna know how to do it. They're going, well, I would do an unboxing. And what's that gonna achieve? Is that gonna sell? Well, is that gonna sell from the first time? Tell me. Tell me right now. And that's when you kind of get an understanding of like, oh, actually, there's like a buildup. And a lot of people, sometimes, brands ask for like, you need to be on camera and you need to show this product and you need to say this and this and that. But a lot of people have anxiety on camera. A lot of people don't like how they look on camera. They don't like how they sound on camera. You have to give them variations. You have to give them options. All sorts of angles that are rooted in like customer insight, all sorts of variations of content that they can try and that they can feel comfortable with. And just incentivize them to post. That is the main thing. If they post, sales will come. But if you're trying to push for sales and you promise them, oh, I promise you that you're gonna make sales if you do like these types of posts, and they do it twice and they don't see sales, they're gonna fall off. So I hope this
Yeah.
makes sense. I hope I didn't go on too many tangents.
No, I think there was certainly a lot to unwrap there, and loved that entire bit. I think everyone listening would be taking a lot of notes. But to summarize it, incentivize fast. Don't wait for the first sale to come in before you say, okay, we're going to give you a commission. Just incentivize them for a post, or and get them to the first sale fast. And then I think mindset shift would be like the second thing. A lot of brands need to have that shift in their thinking, that it's not like ads, that you don't put $1 and expect $5 back. That is just not how this entire channel works. It's a
Yeah.
relationship based channel. It's a person, you're interacting with the person and not like a machine. So you have to think about their psychology and how they are working, and what they care about, and then go after that. And then that's how you build this entire channel. So um I think we also covered the last piece that we had, which was around how do you keep affiliates posting. So I think that we've covered. But before that, there was this question which I thought was very, very sweet. There was a brand who wrote in and said, how often should I reach out to our affiliates without it starting to feel like I'm nagging them? I thought that was a very sweet one. And then it also ties into something that you wrote on your LinkedIn. So I'll just club these questions together and you can take it up. You said a lot of creators are not money driven and some just want to be acknowledged. Some are just having fun making content.
Mm.
So, which is like hard to plan around when you're building an incentive structure. So if you could walk us through like a day to day, what does that look like day to day when there is no good check on the table? So how do you like create this incentive structure when there are so many variables in play?
Yeah, I mean that's a very good question. I would say the to address the first question, the kind of like frequency, it really varies per program. There are programs that are a little bit more aggressive than others, and they have Discords and WhatsApps, and they do like even daily interactions in there. The interactions don't have to be like super complex. It could just be like dropping a prompt or dropping a meme or dropping something, just to create activity. Um, what I've seen a lot of brands is, and we've definitely experienced that, is you have to get through that phase of like the first, I would say, couple of months, where even if you add people, there's not going to be a lot of engagement in there. So you kind of have to be talking by yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
and
What I do every day.
yeah. And just embrace the cringe and embrace and know that we had the surprise of like where we had a Discord, and we had like a little bit of trouble keeping up with it because we were just posting and posting and posting and tagging people and sharing resources and stuff, but nobody would ever respond and stuff. And then what happened is that we took like a small break, and then we went back into the Discord and started posting again. And lo and behold, a lot of people actually started responding and said, "Oh, I love that you shared. We share such useful stuff. I actually took your advice and I created like this content and this content." They started sharing, and we were like, "Oh, actually, people, might not interact, but they definitely watch you. They definitely observe
Yeah.
like what you're doing, and they definitely want to see if you as a brand are willing to put in that effort." Because a lot of brands say, we want to build community and we want to build this and we want to build that. But then they send like ChatGPT generated briefs with like, here's how to sell more for us. And it's just like there is if there are like affiliates that are going to be very driven and very competitive about this, but there are also affiliates that just want to have fun and just want to like be seen, like I said. So that's kind of like something for you to feel out. I would say in a lot of like male predominantly affiliates, you can be more aggressive and competitive because guys really respond to that. Like there's like this, I think, male quality of like, yeah, let's go, bro, let's and we definitely have like affiliate programs in which we are a bunch of girls behind the emails and we talk like guys. We're like, bro, I want to tell you this. And it's
I
really,
love
really funny.
that.
Yeah, man, good job. And it's just like me, it's just like me in my pink t-shirt behind the email going
Yeah.
talking to a
I
bunch of
love
guys.
that.
But it's kind of like adapting. And we always do this. Like some brands have a more formal tone that they talk to. Some brands have a more like cheerful, like very pop, girly pop kind of tone. Some brands, we talk to dudes, so they respond to like if you talk to them to like a bro, they respond to that. So that's one like very simple thing that you can do to kind of like keep them engaged. And I would say the weekly and bi-weekly newsletters never fail. So if you send those out,
Interesting.
and if you, it's hard. I will be the first one to admit, like we handle multiple full-fledged programs. I will be the first one to admit that it's sometimes hard, but you just plan them ahead. You can just plan them ahead for the entire month. And what we've seen a lot of success with is like doing monthly challenges or like giving monthly incentives for people for like raffles or like small contests or like just giving them, chance to choose more products from the store because there are like some products that we don't necessarily send because we want to focus on like the hero products, but there or some products that we have very low stock there of because they're like seasonal drops, and we give affiliates like first pick. We say you will get like a bundle of 5 products of this like seasonal drop that's gonna go like really fast. So it's not gonna be on
Yeah.
for long. And they get really, really incentivized. We don't have like big affiliate programs. We have programs maybe 400 people. And when we send a challenge or when we send a campaign into that affiliate program, at least 150 of them are down for whatever. Like they sign up immediately and they're like, I want to participate in. And that's the kind of thing that I wanna see. And I think there was a question before that I missed to say with the drop off. Realistically speaking, in your affiliate program, you will have 20-30% of the people in that program active at any given time. That is because it's going to be a rotation. You will never, I know that brands sometimes expect to have like 50%, 70% of their affiliates active every single month. That is never going to happen because what's happening is that you're recruiting. So think about it just like adding followers to your Instagram account. You're adding new followers, but those followers are not going to engage right away. You have to like kind of make them engage. Otherwise, your overall stats are going to drop. That's exactly what's happening in the affiliates. You will never be able to get like to 70% or 50% rate if you have like 1,000 people in the program, because that would be, I think it's possible, but maybe it would take like a combination of tactics and just like an immense workload. And the main point of an affiliate is not to have like a spike, but it's to have like cumulative effect and to be aware that you will have 20% when you have like 100 affiliates in your program, but you want to have 20% active when you have 1,000 affiliates in your program as well, because the rate, the
Mm.
percentage stays the same, but the number of people definitely changes. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then I don't remember what was the last question. It was about like how to keep them active, no? Or like how to
Uh,
monitor them when they're without monetary stuff.
Yeah. So essentially, like, how do you build out the incentive structure when there are so many variables into play, and you have to understand different affiliates will respond to different things. It's not always about money, as you mentioned. So how does a brand manager go about thinking of a structure?
Yeah. You will still have to allocate some budget. Like you will still have to allocate like a small amount to give in prizes or like have, a small budget to use for like challenges and that kind of stuff. But if you don't have that, which, I would highly suggest to have that, because the reality of who you're competing with in when it comes to affiliates. And I had like was working in SaaS. I had creators coming to me and literally comparing our affiliate program to like the competitor's affiliate program, and they would literally say, why would I do this for you when your competitor is giving me like 30% commission and they're giving me this and they're giving me access to this and this and this and that, and I have like these perks. And I was like, oh man, it's hard to
Yeah, match that.
beat that, right? When the creator is like, because you're thinking, "Oh, I'm the only one who's reaching out." No, you're not. You're like that their inbox is filled with
Correct.
requests and it's filled. The great thing about this is that most people, and I say this with all the love I can, you're doing an abysmal job at sending emails. I've seen some of the emails, they're horrific. I've seen some of the offers, they're horrific. You cannot send, even from like agencies that work with like very well-known brands. Like I know the brand. I know that I know the agency that's sending that email, and it's a very, very bad email. It's kind of like, we give you 30% to work with our amazing brand, and you will sell for us and blah 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 blah, and you will have great incentives, and we have sales milestones. And I'm great. That's pretty much every single like affiliate out there. It's like the
Yeah.
standard thing. I would say just keep in mind, if you have a product, for example, that's really, really useful. Let's say you have natural cleaning products, and one of your main categories is moms. if you have a product that they will need on a regular basis, you can actually turn that into like your incentive and say, I will send you these products and I will give you like access, exclusive access, and we will like keep you stocked up as long as you keep like using the brand and introducing it into your like your regular content. And a lot of creators in this category will say yes, because I create this type of content anyways. It's a low lift for me. If I can get commission as well, because as long as I post and I keep tagging and I build like trust for that product within my audience, it's going to be like really easy for me. And your only incentive is that you send them the products and you send them like maybe product information. One of the things that I've seen a lot of brands not doing, because they are very, very protective of like their aesthetic and how they share your affiliate content. Like put them front and center in
Correct.
your email marketing, on your Instagram. Nobody cares about your aesthetic Instagram. Really nobody, no, absolutely nobody cares. I worked with a brand that literally did not want to share anything on their Instagram because they were working with like more wellness kind of like people, and they weren't the most aesthetic, but that was their target audience, like the hippie kind of like
Yeah.
homesteading. I grow chickens and I love this product as well. That was the base, that was the target audience. And they didn't want to share that. They wanted to have like this very curated beige aesthetic that was not a match for the chicken people that were actually buying the product. And I kind of like did not understand why. Why? Because something that I try to explain to brands is that brand is not how you see yourself. How you see yourself is a very, very misshapen image. Brand is how the rest of the
Yeah.
world sees you. And you can cling on to like this idea of how you see yourself as long as you want. That doesn't make it true. It's kind of like personal, when we say about personal brand, personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. The only way you can control that is through influencing other people's perception of you. And the way you influence other people's perception of you is through action. You can say and run your mouth as much as you want, but action is going to influence people's perception on you. So if you're a brand and if you're saying we want community and we love you and you keep telling to your affiliates, eventually we'll move you in paid collaborations, eventually we'll do this, eventually we'll love you very, very much, but you never take any action to actually show them that. And you keep like, you pay thousands of dollars for like pretty aesthetic influencers and you reshare those on your website and you reshare those on your like email marketing and you push ads from those people, then there's like only a matter of time until people kind of like call you out on your bullshit
Gotcha.
and say,
Yeah.
well, I don't think you care that much. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I think my favorite content on the internet is actually a day in my life, or this is what I ate today. I get like super obsessed with those videos. So whenever I see some creator that I follow talk about, let's say like I'm on a health journey these days. So when I see something which has more than 10 grams of protein, I'm like, that's what I want to try. And if it's in like a day in the life video, then I'm like, I'm influenced. I know how this works, but I'm influenced. So, yeah, thank you so much for that. I think that was a very good note to wrap this episode up on. And it's also our time for today. Extremely meaty conversation, by the way, Andrea. I think thank you so much for your time and for sharing all those insights. A lot of notes. I know that people will go back and probably reflect on what they're doing in life and in their affiliate program. So they're gonna probably change a few things here and there. To everyone listening in who wants to keep the conversation going, reach out to Andrea on LinkedIn. As I mentioned, we'll put her LinkedIn link that is fun in the description below, and go connect with her, ask her more questions, reach out to her for her services as well. As I mentioned, like she works with brands across categories, so go reach out to her. And if you've got any more questions about affiliate marketing for our next guest, then again, the form will be in the description too. So keep them coming. If this episode helped you, do us a favor and like it, share it, subscribe, and send this to one affiliate marketer that you know and who needs to hear all of this. So yeah, and that's how we grow this thing. So yeah, thank you so much, Andrea, and for everyone tuning in. I will see you in the next one.
Thank you.